You've heard the term gaslighting thrown around a lot, but today we're going to put it under a different kind of microscope. We're moving past the idea that this is just about lying. We're going to treat this not as a character flaw, but as a kind of technology. We're going to crack it open and deconstruct it for what it really is, a highly effective 4-stage system of information management, designed piece by piece to capture your entire reality. Let's begin.
This right here, this gets to the absolute core of the system. See, it's not about debate, it's about diagnosis. The goal isn't to win an argument with you, it's to subtly, quietly convince you that your ability to even have an argument is fundamentally broken. This is the strategic heart of what the source material calls epistemic invalidation. Epistemic just means related to knowledge. So they're not just disagreeing with you, they're invalidating your very capacity to know what's real. It's an attack on the foundation of your perception.
And this leads to a phenomenon called perceptual drift. This isn't some sudden break from reality. No, it's a slow, almost invisible shift. Think of a ship pulling anchor in the middle of the night. You don't even realize you're moving. An influencer, a partner, a boss, anyone, doesn't have to defeat your worldview. They just rewrite it by weaponizing your own biological need for social harmony. Before you know it, you've lost your compass, and they're the only one holding the map. You're navigating by their stars, not your own.
Now, the result of this drift is, well, it's a baffling but really common pattern. Picture this: a sharp, decisive professional, someone who's known for their clear judgment, who trusts their gut and makes the tough calls all day long. But in their private life, they become what the source calls a questioning ghost. They find themselves constantly second-guessing their own senses, scrolling through texts to verify a conversation they know they had. And most tellingly, they start apologizing for their own natural reactions to clear boundary violations. This is the first real tangible symptom that your reality is being systematically taken apart.
So why does this happen? The biological reason behind this is a concept called predictive exhaustion. Okay, so when your version of reality is constantly met with this firm, unwavering denial from someone you trust, your brain faces a choice. And here's the crucial point. It's not that you're losing your mind, it's that your brain, which is hardwired for efficiency, decides that fighting for the truth is just too metabolically expensive. Holding two opposing ideas at once, that cognitive dissonance, it's exhausting. So it gives up. And the result is a total loss of agency. You stop checking with your own eyes and start checking with the person who's rewriting the world for you.
So, we've seen the symptoms and the biological pressure that makes it work. Now let's shift gears. Let's get strategic and break down the actual machinery of this system. Because it's not random. It is a highly structured 4-stage loop that moves from something totally mundane to absolute control. And understanding these stages, that's the key to taking it apart.
So here they are, the 4 stages of the reality capture loop. It all starts with the initiation baseline, a simple test. Then it escalates with something called the Darvo pivot, where the blame gets flipped. Next up is pathologizing, where your sanity itself is put on trial. And it all ends with default alignment, where you actually start policing your own reality to match theirs. Let's start at the beginning.
Step 1 feels completely harmless. So the influencer will challenge a small, really low-stakes detail. The time of an appointment you both agreed on, the color of a shirt, some minor fact. But this isn't about being right about the detail. It's what we call a reliability audit. They're testing your skepticism. How quickly will you give up your own data just to keep the peace? Because once you give in on these small, insignificant points, a really dangerous process starts. Your brain begins to flag its own memory as maybe, just maybe, unreliable.
And now we move to step 2, and this is where the system escalates dramatically. The Darvo pivot. This is what happens when a real violation occurs. A lie, a betrayal, a broken promise. The influencer will execute a 3-part move. First, they deny it ever happened. Then, they attack your character for even bringing it up, for being so suspicious. And finally, they reverse the roles of victim and offender, until somehow they are the one who's been hurt by your accusation. This is the moment the trap closes. The conversation is no longer about their actions. It's now entirely about your supposed failure of perception.
With the focus now totally on you, the influencer moves to step 3, pathologizing. This is where they introduce a diagnosis. Your defense of the truth, well, that's reframed as a symptom. You'll hear things like, you're just stressed, you're being overly sensitive, or the really insidious one, instability runs in your family. They stop arguing the facts and start expressing worry for your mental health.
And this is just a devastatingly effective tactic because it makes your own memory, your primary data source, feel like a medical liability.
And all of this leads to the final stage, the big payoff for the influencer: default alignment. After going through this painful cycle of being audited, attacked, and diagnosed, your brain learns. To avoid the pain, you start to subconsciously filter your own observations to match their narrative before a conflict can even start. This is the capture of the median. The influencer defines the center of any debate, and you spend all your energy just fighting for a couple of inches on their side of the field. You're no longer an independent actor. You've basically become a node in their network, processing only the data they allow.
So why is this system so lethally effective? Why do smart, capable people fall into this trap? Well, the answer isn't psychological weakness, it's biological efficiency. Let's look at the exploit and see how this system leverages our own fundamental biology against us.
Your brain's #1 job, right after keeping you alive, is to conserve energy. It is a metabolic miser. It hates spending calories. And calculating objective reality from scratch in a tense social situation, that is incredibly taxing. It's much easier for the brain to just take an existing story, especially one offered with a lot of confidence, and just go with it. It's the path of least resistance, and the manipulator knows this and uses it.
Think of it like this. Your brain is constantly weighing two options. On one hand, you can just accept a social lie. This saves precious energy, and crucially, it maintains your connection to someone important to you. On the other hand, you can fight for the sensory truth, what you actually saw and heard. But this requires a huge metabolic cost, and, it risks making you an outcast. Faced with that choice, our biology often decides that social connection is the realer reality worth protecting. And the whole system is sealed with one final leverage point. After a conflict, after you've defended your reality, the influencer will often do an act of so-called grace. They'll lower the tension and forgive you for your confusion or your oversensitivity. This simple act triggers a deep, evolutionary response in you, the reciprocity reflex. You feel this visceral need to match their flexibility with your own compliance. They gave a little, so you feel this incredible pressure to give a lot. You're not being fooled, you are being chemically managed by your own innate need for social balance.
Okay, we've diagnosed the system and its biological underpinnings. Now, how do you fight back? How do you actually reclaim your own reality? We're going to transition from diagnosis to action. We'll look at clear, tactical countermeasures that are designed to neutralize the system and reset your internal compass.
There are 3 core tactics for your defense. First, you have to maintain external calibration. Second, you must learn to refuse the Darvo pivot. And third, if it's necessary, initiate a diagnostic exit. The key to all of these is to grab control of the narrative away from your character and drive the conversation relentlessly back to objective, verifiable evidence.
Let's focus on the most critical tactic here: external calibration. The whole goal of reality capture is to make the influencer your only source of truth. So to counter this, you have to maintain out-of-system records. This could be a private journal where you write down what happens as it happens with dates and direct quotes. Or it could be a trusted friend who is outside the system, someone you can talk to who can verify your baseline and just confirm that, no, you're not the one misremembering things. This external anchor is your single most powerful tool for keeping your internal compass from being reset.
And so we arrive at the ultimate strategic question. In a game of social power, in any negotiation where realities are being fought over, where is true, lasting power actually found? Is it in winning the argument? Is it finding some kind of compromise? The answer is decisive. True power is found in establishing and holding the baseline, not in the middle ground. The moment you start negotiating from a middle ground that a manipulator has proposed, you've already lost. They've captured the median, and you are just negotiating the terms of your own surrender. Power lies in defining the initial objective facts of the situation and refusing to move from that foundation of data.
And this is the mental weapon, the final takeaway. The entire system of reality capture is designed to make you seek permission to validate your own senses. The antidote is to flip that dynamic internally. Stop asking for confirmation. Stop waiting for someone else to agree with what you experienced. Start owning your data. What you saw, what you heard, what you know. That is your baseline. Own it.